Hedy, thank you very much for inviting us today. We have already said a lot about the crowdfunding and equity crowdfunding platform. So I try to be brief. I have only 10 minutes. So I'm here today to present you Anaxago and the equity crowdfunding sector in France and maybe mainly on the worldwide aspect. So first of all, what is crowdfunding? We talk about fintech, about crowdfunding, about Kickstarter, many things different with different activities, different sectors, and in fact different jobs. Crowdfunding is for us a collective way to play finance. Just that, as Airbnb has been a revolution for the housing area, for the housing sector, we think will be the next revolution for the finance industry, the collaborative way to do finance. So crowdfunding is not a revolution in terms of figures, of numbers, of ability to fund projects, because we are very small, very little in the world funding industry. But in terms of spirit, it's a kind of revolution, because you can decide now, since if you look back at the crisis since 2008, nothing has really changed in the manner you invest, in the manner you get funded. You always have banks; they are not much transparent now than before. So we think the real difference is here. You have you can choose wherever you want to put your money, and that's the main difference. In terms of figures, just a few figures about the sector on the worldwide aspect. In the market double each year. From 2012, it was about $2 billion, and in 2015, we expect the market to grow to more than $30 billion on the worldwide. In France, it's another story. We have reached about 140 million euros last year, and it doubles every year too. And the market share is very different. The figures here are not good, but the market share between the three different areas, equity crowdfunding, lending, and peer-to-peer lending, and reward-based crowdfunding are very different. The main sectors remains peer-to-peer lending and reward-based crowdfunding, and the equity-based is very the last bit of the cake. So here we have a few figures, but let's zoom on the venture industry in France, because here at Anaxago we do mainly venture capital, and a few figures of the last year. In France, we get funded. Young entrepreneurs get funded mainly through three ways nowadays. Business angel. They are all gathered in one association called France Angel, and last year they raised and they invested about 37 million euros. The venture capital has raised 0.8 billion euros last year in 2014, and equity crowdfunding has raised not yet, but 40 million euros. So we are catching up with the business angel industry, and that's the main point. It's the business angel industry has been here for about 20 years. Maybe we'll see that after that with SOE but over 20 years they have gathered about 400 people able to invest about 40 million each year. And we see that crowdfunding is a new way that younger business angels are taking place and are replacing this kind of old way of the former way to do this. About Anaxago, we have been launched 3 years ago in 2012. We were three associates. Now we are 17 people working there with different sectors. Here, people in charge of the relation with the investors. Here, the management team, and here the team in charge of the entrepreneurs. Because you have understood that the key point is being in charge and being in the contact of the entrepreneurs everywhere on the territory. So, a few figures about us. We have raised, I've just looked before we left, 22 5.3 million euros over the last 3 years. We have successfully funded 54 companies. We had 10 co-investors. That means that when at first crowdfunding was kind of a side of the venture capital industry or habits, we have successfully gained more and more the esteem of venture capitalists and institutional investors that start now more and more to invest along crowdfunding and along Anaxago. We have about 49,000 members and 3,500 active investors that have invested more than 22 million euros. How we help and how we are kind of different, or what is our real value added, is that we help entrepreneurs and investors in different way. For investors, what counts for them is that we select. We chose less than 3% of the project we receive. Every month, it's about 120 projects that has committed to Anaxago. We advise. 3 people are here every day to advise on tax, on diversification, on portfolio management, every investor. We gather them in a real event, in physical meetings, because we think that even if the virtual and the platform, the web platform is great, and it helps us to manage all these people, real good things happen here, and you can see here now. And we gather them in holding, also in a SPV, a special purpose vehicle. That is the only job is to represent the whole community of investors along the life of the investment. And we manage and follow over the time. For entrepreneurs, we coach and improve through what we call the program. The program is that when an entrepreneur comes, when it comes to Anaxago, I say, okay, I want to raise about 1 million euros or 100,000 euros. We say, okay, are you ready to fund that kind of money? So we'll coach him, we'll challenge him, we'll kind of push him during this program in order to be sure that he is going to be able to respond to investors. He's going to be able to have the strategy well done, the business plan well done, etc. And then after that, we fund quickly. So the average time is between 30 and 90 days of campaign. And we have a 90% of success rate here when we propose a project online to our community. We take care of the legal part. That's an easy part for the entrepreneur. And we are committed on the long term and provide tools. What we mean by tools, it means Anaxago expertise. It means tools on many subjects, on the business development, on tax, on everything that can help the entrepreneur during all the phases of the business of the development of the startups. The cherry on the pie, as we said, we were the first platform to be in the real life. That means that we are the first to organize large events on the large scale. Here, the last event, we were more than 350 people, not far from here. And we think that this is the main difference and something very special in order to create trust. Because crowdfunding platform, no matter what you are looking at Kickstarter, Lending Club, Anaxago, no matter the platform, we have to build trust. So the online part is just a tool, and we have just maybe 10% of our job. So we decided to create this kind of events every month, now in Paris, and tomorrow all over the country. And yes, maybe you have some question? Terry.
How are you yourself funded?
Well, funded through our community. We have raised about 2 million euros thanks to our community over the past 2 years. And the other part is that we have always make benefits over the year. So for year one, we have made some benefits. So we have now we are well funded to grow.
Do you intend to have a secondary market?
I think it's a very good idea. We first had the idea to go like here into the bourse, the stock market exchange, to see maybe there is something to do with the secondary market. But I think people in France are not ready yet to exchange. First, we have to evangelize, we have to democratize the fact that you can invest in SMBs. But after that, because no, crowdfunding is just, it's not mass market. You know, equity crowdfunding is not for the mass market. It's just maybe 5–10% of the population that is aware that you can invest in SMBs and in startups and innovative companies. So once the job will have been done, and maybe, I don't know, 20–30% of the population will be aware, maybe it will be time to have a secondary market. But before that, there is a long way to go.
Do you intend to have syndicates?
Yes, I think the syndicate, it's a very good marketing opportunity. I think because people can trust and rely on an expert, but he has to be an expert. And that's the point about syndicate. I think you have a lot of marketing. You have a lot of very famous angel investors in the US with a great track record, saying, okay, I can follow him because he has invested in Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Airbnb. So okay, maybe we can follow him. But in France, who are you going to follow? Maybe an expert of a sector, but he won't be very famous, maybe, or not from for the mass population, for everyone. So I think he will be more focused on expertise, not maybe a syndicate like Angelis have done, but on very focused people. Thank you very much.